Is chairman of the RNC Youth Advisory Council and author of One Generation Away, Brylan Hollyhan, and student at George Washington University and vice chair of the GW College Republicans, Kieran Laffey. Gentlemen, great to have you on. So, Brylan, you first, my friend. The Wall Street Journal reporting that men under 30 support Donald Trump overwhelmingly. This was not the case in 2016. It was not the case in 2020. The counter side of that, though, women under 30 apparently support Kamala Harris. These are people that are in your age group, Gen Z. Take me through where Gen Z is on both these candidates.
Sure, Rob. Well, as you mentioned, we are making major gains, historic gains with Gen Z. We still have a lot of work to do, but progress is being made. And you ask the question why, and it's simple. It's because my generation is tired of chaos. The left is the party of chaos, and Kamala Harris is the candidate of chaos. My generation sees through the sham. We see that she was the most radical senator in U.S. history. She was one of the first to drop out of the 2020 race because she was too radical for her own party, Rob. She's anti-fracking, anti-border security, and even anti-red meat, Rob. Yes, that's how radical she is, and you just showed on the screen. We saw last night at her rally that she can't even pull crowds by herself. She needs these washed-up celebrities to headline her rallies as opening act, and then we saw on the cameras there as the crowd of my peers poured out the doors before she even took the stage. My peers go to a Trump rally to see President Trump, but a Harris rally just to see Megan Thee Stallion. That really shows my generation's true view of Kamala Harris.
Yeah, Kieran, do voters your age really care about who celebrities are voting for?
Yeah, I don't like to look into the whole celebrity thing often. I recall in 2016, Hillary Clinton had them all out at that last rally, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and then a day later she ended up losing to President Trump. And a point I like to make, I wouldn't look too hard into some of these newer polls. I think with the most dramatic, historical events in politics, you see that temporary honeymoon phase. And I think it's up to the Trump campaign to expose the real policies that Kamala Harris has supported over the years. Horrible record on public safety, supported things like kind of defunding the police and healthcare for illegals. No one wanted to work with her in her tenure as vice president. So the Trump campaign, they exposed the record. I think Donald Trump excels with the youth vote this cycle.
Yeah, good point. I think it's interesting that men are flocking to Donald Trump and women to the female candidate, Kamala Harris. Brylan, the Detroit Free Press reporting that Gen Z is now mobilizing for Harris in ways that they just weren't doing for Joe Biden. Joe Biden, incredibly unpopular. Can you take me through, just when you're talking with your friends and people that you know, what's changed over the last 10 days since Biden dropped out of the race?
Well, I see two things that are important here. One we have to look out for, and it's going to be Kamala Harris trying to separate herself from Joe Biden, and we cannot let her get away with this. Kamala Harris was right there letting this happen, being in the Oval Office, being in the Situation Room as these horrible decisions being made by Joe Biden. This is the Biden-Harris administration, not just the Biden administration. We need to remind voters of that every single day, every moment of every single day. She was also there constantly telling us for 3.5 years that Joe Biden was fit as a fiddle and sharp as a tack, lying to the face of the American people because she knew his true state. We cannot let her get away with that. And the conversation I constantly have with my peers over the past week and a half of her being in the race is simple. We have a unique opportunity in this election. We know what a Trump presidency would look like, and we know what a Harris presidency would look like. Kamala Harris was given one job as vice president, and it was to be border czar, and she hasn't visited the border more than once. She hasn't done anything to secure the border. The border's actually more wide open. And my generation, my peers on college campuses are being brutally murdered at the hands of her inept border security policies. We've seen what strong border security is and a strong nation is, and also a strong economy is under President Trump. So we can compare what both presidencies would look at, and I think it's pretty simple when you break it down like that, who my generation should be voting for.
Yeah, so Kieran, a quick question for you. Obviously, J.D. Vance, only 39 years old. He turns 40 next month. But does that appeal to Gen Z voters?
Look, I think 100%. I was at the convention with Breland about 2 weeks ago, and, you see a 39-year-old come onto the scene. Definitely a lot of energy behind that. I was with a lot of the young Republicans, and we were all very excited to see that. And look, I think it's crucial to point out that this whole new campaign, it's a rebranded spin on the failed policies of Joe Biden.
Right.
We need to talk about the policies, and the Trump policies were much more pro-young voters, economy, public safety, you name it, point at the policies, and I think that's the winning message.
What do you make of, just quickly, Kieran, and you're on college campuses, what do you make of the weird factor? The media, 157 times through Monday, MSNBC and CNN called J.D. Vance weird. I say embrace the weird. I'm really weird. Just embrace it.
Yeah, look, I don't get all that. I saw that same thing. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, they're all in these same meetings, well funded, trying to use the same word. It's not even, it's clearly obvious to us. So I don't buy into it. I think the other weird one's not us. So I think let's keep.
Well, I'm with you. Prior to the assassination attempt on Trump, he was apparently Hitler, according to Democrats in the media. Now the best they can come up with is weird.
That's it.
Like, weird wouldn't work on a school bus. You know what I mean? Like, you're weird. People would be like, oh, all right, I guess I'm doing fine. Gentlemen, great having you on this morning. Good luck to you. We'll have you back soon. Brylan Hollyhan, Kieran Laffey, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Up next, two boxers.